Guess who's here, Mani?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Madi.
Hi, Mani.
Hi, Mani sir. How are you?
I'm good. All well?
I know. All well. Thank you. Yeah, this as well as both of us can be inside confined areas.
How's the film
So,
coming?
it's on hold right now because we can't move out of the house. So I'm சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா சும்மா இருக்கிற சங்க ஊதி கிடக்கா அப்படிங்கிறது அதான் நடந்துட்டு இருக்கு இப்போ. Trying to touch areas that shouldn't be touched. But so I have to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, congratulations. It's 20 years of Alai Paide today.
Wow.
Today. Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's the celebration today. Yeah.
That is true. So I've been inundated with questions. So the one of the things that I wanted to ask you, Mani sir, and I think I'm speak for a lot of people, is that you don't seem to be the kind of person who goes out and mingles socially so much, or goes out and travels on your own so much. But all your films, and it's spectacular, the variety of films that you've made and made sense of with your movies. How do you gather the relationships so easily? I mean, the kind of relationships that people share that are so intimate that one is able to see only in your movies, the understanding of people. How are you able to gather these experiences as a writer? How are you able to portray that so really?
See, okay. I will not say that you're, as old as I am, but if you can see it and think that it is relevant for, over a period of time, if as an audience you feel, that this belongs to the 80s, 90s and 20s, 2010 and 20, if you're able to receive it, then you should be able to bounce it back to, it's not really, you don't have to go out of your way. You don't have to, go and try to gather things. It comes in as a part of growing, as a part of existing in this world, as part of interacting. So it is, and it's not as though the basic ideas really change. It's not as though there's been a drastic change in ideas. I think whatever is happening in 2020 was also felt or probably in the mind when you were younger. So it is
True.
not, I think, so to an extent you can easily identify with it. I can, see that it's happening today, but it was on thought of those days. So that's all.
So when you see a relationship between Nayakar and his people, it's not like you've actually gone and spent time with the Don. Or when you see the kind of relationship between in OK Kanmani or in Chakka Chavandavanam, it is so real the way you are able to portray those relationships. So my question to you is, do you read about these people? Do you actually spend time with these people? How do you acquire this fantastic ability to portray them so really? Be it a defense, be it Dawn, be it romance, be it a middle class family in Maunaragam. That's my question to you.
Yeah, to an extent, I think we have to understand that we have to be there, gather whatever you can, or sense whatever you can, and sometimes you just need to get a sense of it, to get the truth inside.
Project it, you mean?
Yeah, truth inside it. I'll give you an example for Nayagan, for example. I was lucky to have an assistant director who was a part of, Mudliyat.
Oh.
And he used to wear only white and white. And I didn't know that he was that. And luckily he was there through the film. So we could get few, things like that. He would sit on the floor and not on a sofa. When the sofa is there. That kind of one element, helps you deconstruct a character and then expand on it. So it's
I
not
see
that
what you
anything.
mean. Yeah.
You just need a sense of truth, and then you get it.
Well,
Okay.
your ability to project is fantastic. Yeah. Last question, and then I'm supposed to ask Mani sir.
Last question. I have something to tell you. So why did you change his life? He was absolutely
I changed his life?
Making movies, and you introduced him to golf. Enna panninga? What did you do? What did he do to you, Mani? Talk about golf.
He teased me saying I'm playing. No, there were two things that I have to
Yeah.
say. One is Mani sir kept teasing me that I'm playing an old man's game during either when I got a golf driver onto the shoot, and he said, "Nada, karma vilaadra game la vilaadittu irukka." And so I was very upset. So I wanted to say, show me if you can do better. And he beat the crap out of me in the game. So that's
Yeah,
Mani
did
sir for
you?
you.
Did you
Yeah,
play?
yeah,
Did
yeah,
you
yeah.
did you
He's a
play golf?
Yeah, yeah. He did. He did. He's a
He's just
single
being
handedly.
modest.
The second thing is, and I think if anybody changed anybody's life, it is the other way around. Manisha completely changed mine. So for that, I'm very grateful. And more than one ways, because I remember I came during Alai Friday because we're talking about that movie. Manisha and Hasni ma'am, you remember that, you never let me just be an actor on the set. I was anything but that. Manisha kept insisting that I understand every aspect of cinema. You made me be an associate director and assistant director. You made me, manage the crowd in the background. All this was new to me, and I used to keep wondering why I'm doing this. But I think there cannot be a better training for an actor to understand every aspect of cinema like you made me do. Do you do that with all the actors you introduce?
Maggie, that was especially for you.
Yes, you're
Thank
special,
you.
Maggie.
Thank you.
He was your guide
Last
in film
question.
industry. I was your GPS. I was your
That is
GPS.
correct.
Whenever you
Yes,
and
I cannot.
Sarita used to get lost in Madras, you'll call me and I'll tell you turn right, turn left.
Oh, not just in terms of direction. You helped us out in many directions in life. Thank you very much for that. Last question, sir, which I'm supposed to ask you because it's Alipai Day. Uh, we've seen all your movies, and a lot of your dialogues have become iconic. From Nayakan's film where he says "Ninga Nallavara Kettavara" to a lot of these movies throughout history. But they've all been single lines, lines that have not been tried to go out of their way to make it sound like dialogues, but they became eternal after the film released. My question to you is, during Alai Paide, the line that has become eternally associated with me and Alai Paide, which is now another it was like a six lines. And I know that you being a realistic kind of a filmmaker, you must have cringed at this being such a dialoguish line, but you still let it be in the film. What was that change that made you decide that this has? Because I've never known you in any of your other films to have such long dialoguish lines in a movie.
You've
They're
changed, bro.
monosyllabic like you. Huh?
He said you should see Irivar.
Oh, wait, no, no, no. But they were not meant to. They were meant to communicate. In a film like Alai Paide, this was dialoguish, or that's what I felt. And did you feel it there, or you thought it went with the natural flow?
Of course not, of course not. You just felt, I mean, I had two trains at the same time. I was only worried about catching it correct time. I would be bothered whether it was 4 or 5 lines. As long as you said it correctly in one take, I'm fine.
Yeah, I remember. Yes, I remember that clearly. It was a tough day. We had the trains only for a few hours, and honestly, I never thought it would become iconic lines. And I am,
Yeah.
very grateful to be associated with those lines.
Good for you. It was made for you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm going to leave you with other people who are dying to ask you questions.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Be
Maggie.
safe.
Thank you for
Bye,
joining.
sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. There is a lady who's asking you a question saying that how do you decide the color palette according to Meena Ganesh? She's from Bangalore, Vani's friend. She's asking how do you decide the color palette of a film according to the story?
I think you just don't decide only the color palette. You decide a feel for a film, and that will determine, the editing style, the way camera will moving, and the tone and the emotion, and therefore the color also. So you have, the film will, in fact, sometimes drag you in a particular direction where you feel that is what is right for this. So you let the story decide for you.
Okay. So there is this girl who wants to talk to you.
Mani sir, நான் கனகலட்சுமி உங்களோட பெரிய 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 ஃபேன். என்னோட क्वेश्चन என்னன்னா,
சாரி என்னாச்சு தெரியல, சாரி தப்பு பண்ணிட்டேன்.
மணி சார், நான் கனகலட்சுமி உங்களோட பெரிய 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 ஃபேன். என்னோட क्वेश्चन என்னன்னா, எப்பவுமே உங்களோட படத்துல ஒரு பியூரஸ்ட் ஃபார்ம் ஆஃப் லவ் தான் காட்டுறீங்க. மெயினா காற்று வெளியிடையில 7 கடல் தாண்டி மலை தாண்டி உன்னை தேடி வந்திருக்கேன். அப்படி ஒரு லவ் மேல ஒரு பிலீஃப்க்கு உங்களுக்கு எது சார் இன்ஸ்பிரேஷனா இருக்கு உங்களோட எல்லா படத்துலயும்? அதுதான். தேங்க்யூ.
I don't know if that was the purest form of romance, Cartroville especially, because I think it dealt with a very, very difficult relationship. So the only thing that guides you is that there is no definition of which is the correct relationship. When from my first film, we try to look at various shades of it, some which look true, some which looks perfect but is not so perfect after all, and then a balance is reached over time. So it is just trying to understand relationship. It's not just love story between man and woman. It could be between a woman and a child. It could be between brothers. It could be anything, and you're just trying to understand the dynamics of relationships.